limits on size, just because, but I won't do that yet. So I am going to give you some limits on size. Okay. Oh my gosh, where is that?
It's up above Monarch Lake in Winter Park in June 1 year.
Gorgeous.
Okay, I need to.
Gorgeous. All right, guys, are you ready to listen?
Yeah.
Wonderful. Ethan, why don't you walk with me for just a second?
Is it okay if we dim the lights?
Yes.
Yeah. I'll dim it. I'll dim it.
Okay, computers are shut, and we are listening.
So, yeah, my theme this month is water, and I've been reading about the water cycle, you know, how water evaporates over the ocean from plants and from the soil and forms vapor and goes up and forms clouds, yes?
I'm excited for this because I absolutely love water.
Yeah, right. And so do I. And then I read that 70% of the water of rain falls over the ocean. Some of the clouds go over land and fall as rain and snow, which flows back into the ocean. So it's a cycle. And I've read there's the same amount of water on the earth always, it just changes forms. But I also read that a little bit of water gets added from comets and comet fragments that come through the atmosphere. And sometimes those comets and fragments have organic materials, which are organic molecules, which are molecules of life. And some scientists think that that's how life is transported through the universe from the water in comets, which is really interesting to me. So my story is of Ottawa Native American legend called Manana of the Waterfall. And she was a shapeshifter. The Great Spirit would help her change forms. And she would lie on her back and look at the night sky and all the stars, and she dreamed of going up and flying through the stars and exploring all parts of the universe. So she asked the Great Spirit, could she do that? And the Great Spirit made it happen for her, and she flew up through all parts of the Milky Way galaxy, and it was absolutely beautiful. She loved it. But after several years, she kept remembering what it was like on Earth, and the early mornings in the spring when the birds would sing, and how it felt to walk on the ground, and the warm sun in the morning, and she missed the Earth, and she asked the Great Spirit, could she return as a human on the Earth? The Great Spirit said, that's going to be difficult. You'll have to go through stages. First, become fish-like, like a mermaid, and live among the water spirits near a waterfall. And then, the more time you spend on land, the more you lose some of your mermaid form. But you'll never be truly a human, truly have a human soul unless you fall in love with the human. This is kind of a love story. So she did. She returned among the water spirit / mermaids along the waterfall. They really liked her. She had a pleasant personality. They became her family. But she would often go down and climb up on the bank and sit in the sun, and she did that almost every day when the sun was out. And in time, some of the scales on her arms and her shoulders and back started to fall off. And the skin that held her legs into a mermaid tail started to get thinner. And then one morning it broke apart. And so she took a stick and she tried to stand up. It was really hard and it was really painful. She was able to take about 5 steps and then she was exhausted. But every day she practiced and she got better at it. And after several months, she was actually able to walk through the woods, which she absolutely loved. The smell of the needles of the spruce and the fir and the birds singing in the morning. She loved being on the earth. So one day, there was an Ottawa warrior walking along a cliff, and he looked down in a valley and he saw Manana next to a stream, and he could see that she still had a few scales on her back. So he climbed down and he kept spying on her through the trees. And finally he went in front of her and walked right up to her and said, "Who are you and where'd you come from?" and she said, "I'm Manana of the waterfall." And her voice was really pleasant, like a song sparrow singing. And they talked for quite a while, and then he invited her to his village to meet the other Ottawa people. So she came with him and had dinner. And they liked her too. And in fact, they considered her so special that they considered her a gift from the Great Spirit. She stayed with them. She didn't go back to the waterfall. And they became another family. I mean, they really liked her. So after many months, she wondered when she would fall in love and have a human soul. It hadn't happened yet. But one time, some Adirondack warriors came to meet with the Ottawa warriors to work out a peace treaty so they would stop fighting and killing each other. And Pescara was a young Adirondack warrior, and when he saw Manana, it's like they fell in love at first sight. So after the meeting, Pescara came and found her, and they talked. And they walked around the edge of the Ottawa village many times, getting to know each other. And when he went through at night back to his Adirondack village, all he could think about was Manana. And it was like he felt in love. And that's what Manana felt too about him when she lied in bed at night. She was so happy she kept thinking about Pescara. That's what it's like when you fall in love. And so, Pescara, when he'd go hunting, he would often bring what he had killed, like a deer, over to the Ottawa village and share it with them. It was his excuse to visit Manana. He did it several times a week. And so they got to know each other better, and they felt more and more in love. And after a couple months, they couldn't hardly stand to be apart. So Pescara went to his Adirondack chief and told him of his love for this Ottawa woman, Manana. And the chief said, "I have heard of her, and a lot of us think that there's something strange about her, that she's not truly human." He said, "Let me think about it overnight." And the next morning, the chief said, "I don't like this idea. I don't want you to marry her. You should marry someone from our own village. And in fact, I forbid you to go see her anymore," which made Pescara really unhappy. But he went anyway. He would go out at night and meet with Manana. The Adirondacks figured out he was doing that. And one time, the warriors followed him, and they waited till he met up with Manana, and then they drove her away, throwing rocks at her and shooting arrows in the trees near her. She had to run. And they tied up Pescara and took him back to the village and put him in a teepee under guard. He could not leave until he agreed never to go see Manana again. And they were both brokenhearted. They were both so sad. Manana started going back to the waterfall because she felt comfort being around her water spirit mermaid friends. And she told them what happened, that the Adirondacks wouldn't let her and Pescara be together, and she was so sad. And away from Manana, the other water spirits said, "We need to get revenge on the Adirondacks somehow." And so Manana stopped spending the night, stopped going to the Ottawa village very much. In fact, she told them, "I'm going to go back to the waterfall." And they were really sad to see her go. So, and she went back, she started living with the water spirits around the waterfall again. So the end of the story is what happened is that the water spirit mermaids one day went up the river because someone had found that the Adirondack warriors were in canoes on a big, wide, calm river. And they turned the river into a whitewater rapid. And they were going to drown all the Adirondack warriors, and Pescara was among them. And the warriors were trying to keep their canoes from turning over, and they kept seeing these angry mermaid faces in the white water. It was terrifying. And Manana figured out what was happening. She went up the river and pleaded with her friends to don't kill them. And they listened to her. All of a sudden, the river became calm again. The Adirondacks paddled up the river. Pescaret was the last one to leave, and he kept looking downriver, and he saw Manana appear for a few seconds. So he kept coming back to that river almost every day, hoping to see Manana again. And one morning, she appeared right after the sun came up and was lighting up the trees. And she swam over to Pescaret. He stepped out of his canoe near the bank. The water only went up to about his waist, and they came forward and they held hands, and it felt so good to be reunited. Pescaret said, "I never want to be apart from you again." And Manana said, "Well, then don't. Come with me to the waterfall." And that's what he did. He went to the waterfall and lived nearby and met with Manana every day. And he asked Manana, "Can I become a water spirit so that I can be with you all the time?" And she said yes. And the Great Spirit allowed that to happen. And so the end of the story is the Adirondacks were really sad. They missed Pescaret, and they realized they had made a mistake not allowing Pescaret and Manana to be together. And there was a celebration one day. The first part of the day was a ceremony where Pescaret would become a water spirit. The second part of the day into the evening was the wedding of Manana and Pescaret. It was a very happy time, and they were incredibly happy that they could be together from then on. So that's the end of the story.
Thank you.
Are there any questions? So I have a whole bunch of pictures and videos about water that I'm going to show you. I've got plenty of time left. And these are all pictures from Colorado and Wyoming, all around the West, that I've taken throughout the years of water in all its forms. This is a valley that I found many years ago. You hike up along a stream 2 miles where there's no trail, and then you come to an open valley that's absolutely beautiful. And one time I was going up there in June, and I wasn't quite sure I was on the right path, but I found some elk tracks in the snow, and I figured that elk is probably going to the valley to eat grass. And so I followed them, and sure enough, the elk tracks led me right to this valley. I need to go there again before I get too old. Yeah, isn't that a great spot?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Wow. Yeah, that's a great.
This is when I first started backpacking. That's 3 of my original Border Collies, and that's, you can tell I'm a newbie because I'm wearing blue jeans. You don't want to wear blue jeans when you go backpacking.
What do you wear? What do you wear now?
I wear some lightweight pants that dry quickly,
Yeah.
and I have several layers underneath them when it's cold.
I was gonna ask you, wear some like wicking long underwear or.
Yeah, exactly.
can, yeah.
And in the wintertime, I'll wear like 3 pairs. So, yeah, this is Montana. That's little Molly. I've had 9 Border Collies over the years, over about the last 40 years. And I teach them to kayak when they're young, which they really enjoy. And this is Perry's Primrose. It grows in Colorado up high near water, usually in late June and early July. Really, really beautiful. And here's Utah.
Whoa, that's different than mountains.
Water in all its forms. Yeah. There's Utah again. So,
She's in the water.
yeah, this is one of my favorite pictures.
Look at the picture. Look at the picture.
You missed it.
I saw it.
We're lucky to live in Colorado.
Wow.
And I get excited at this time of year when because the snow is going to melt soon, and then I can start backpacking up high.
Where do you plan to go this summer?
I don't know yet, but I spend a lot of time around Leadville,
Oh, I love Leadville.
around those mountains.
Yeah, we camped up there a couple years ago at this time, like the weekend after school went out, and it was really cold. It
Yeah.
was, my dogs were like shaking. And my kids were depressed, so.
Yeah,
We're like, oh, maybe don't be at 10,000 feet.
yeah, I once camped backpack at 10,000 feet in January, and that's not very much fun, really.
Yeah.
So, anyway, what I wanted to show you is that I've been on 2 backpack trips since I saw you last. And I go up to this dry ridge where there's no water, which is kind of a problem because you gotta have water. But water's really heavy to carry in your backpack. But what I found a few years ago up there is a hole in the rock that fills with water. And there's a lot of it, like 20 or 30 gallons.
Is it
And
like a
so-
spring or is it collecting
No, it
rainwater?
just collects.
Oh,
It
it's just
collects.
collect, so it'd be fresh too. like you
Yeah,
could-
it tastes great, but I still filter it.
You still filter it.
Yeah, and, so I came back from there yesterday morning, and it's just a wonderful spot, off trail, way up high, in a level spot between a cliff and a ridge. Let me see if I have a picture of it. Yeah, there we go. Just a wonderful place, about maybe 300 feet. And so, yeah, me and Jess, we're getting used to what it's like to go with just us, just the two of us, which is still very much fun.
Guys, since Mr. Jim mentioned it, I'll tell you that he lost one of his doggies. We've
Oh,
all
no.
had animal friends that we've.
Not me.
So she knows a lot of English words, and yesterday I told her up, and so she got up on the log because I asked her to.
Nice.
And there's another picture of Jess with her backpack.
She looks like she's got shoulder
So
Now, is she 10? Is that what I remember? Is Jess 10?
she's only 2.5.
She's only she's only 2.5.
Yeah,
Oh man. So she loves us.
yes, she does. And we sleep really, really well. So the other thing, water. You guys know I love the ocean. So here's pictures from the ocean. We need the sun, the moon, the stars, the rivers and the mountains and birds, the fish in the sea to evoke a world of mystery, to evoke the sacred. And that's from Wendell Berry. This is,
I'm a dolphin.
yeah, this was one year I was holding
I'm a
on to the boat with my left hand, which was slowly moving, and holding my GoPro in my right hand.
I'm a dolphin.
Got this video.
I'm dolphin.
And this is one of my peak experiences in my life. In the South Pacific, there
I'm a
were
whale.
2 humpback whales, and we were in the ocean with them. They were down below, and one of them came up to get air right in front of us.
Wow. Were you like terrified?
No,
Or were you like,
there
Wow.
were 7 people in the boat, and the captain. We were in a big inflatable boat, not that big. And the captain, when we found the whales, he said, "Everybody jump out," and he took the boat away because the whales can get scared from a boat. So
Yeah.
we were all in the water with snorkels, and yeah.
I mean, I know they don't try to hurt people, but they're still huge.
Yeah, really, really big. And everybody else was from New Zealand. And
Okay.
one of the guys got
What
so
are you
excited
trying
he
to
dropped his
draw?
GoPro, went to the bottom of the ocean.
An
So we
axolotl.
shared.
It's a frog and an
Pretty.
You
axolotl.
put it on your head and it's a video camera that you put on your head.
Yeah, he was right. It's a little one that's waterproof, about that big. You take a lot of photos with GoPros in the ocean. So these are all my pictures over many years from the ocean. In the Caribbean, I absolutely love queen angelfish. And in the Florida Keys, for some reason, they allow me to get really close to them. And that's when I got these pictures.
wow.
I've
I'm
seen
a
the same
fish.
fish in the Southern Caribbean, and they don't let me get close. They swim right away.
Turtle. I'm a
Right
turtle.
away.
I'm a turtle.
Yeah, and I see the clownfish down in Indonesia in the Coral Triangle.
Oh, it's a Nemo. It's a Nemo.
It's Nemo. It's a Nemo.
But parrotfish have big teeth
Finding
to munch
George.
on coral to eat algae, and then they poop out sand.
It looks like they have teeth.
I'm
Yes,
drawing
did you want to see
an
it?
axolotl. It's a
Hey,
big
hey,
axolotl.
In the video of the dolphin, there was like a flash of lightning. Do you know what that was?
Oh, that was just a transition that I put in when I made the video from one clip to another. So here's another parrotfish.
Fishy.
I've been going to the ocean for many years, and there's a picture. I've seen a shark a few times.
Yeah, I think I.
Let me show you. Oh, I followed this one, but they swim a lot faster than I can. There's a big shark I got a photo of. Let me show you where that is. I think I went past it. See if you can spot it.
It's an axolotl.
It's not surprising.
No, those are barracuda. Oh yeah, there's one, but it's not the one I'm looking for. There it is.
Surprising that you didn't die.
I only saw him for a few seconds. It was really big.
I'm a shark.
So,
Sharks won't attack unless you hurt them.
yes, did you want to say something?
Yeah,
Yeah.
parrotfish, I learned that they start their life out as a male and then they turn into a female and then they go back to a male.
Right, exactly. And I think clownfish can do that also.
Yeah.
So, I sometimes take an inflatable kayak with me and put it in my luggage, and then I blow it up and can kayak in the ocean. There's another picture. So, and I think I have a picture related to, oh yeah, here, this is in the Florida Keys. See that port there? That's dry tortugas. So let me show you that in Google Earth. I'm going to search it. So I have to start typing dry tortugas. This is 90 miles west of Key West. And they call the islands keys. And so right here is Garden Key. And in Civil War times, they made a fort around that to protect the United States from the ocean.
I've been there too. This is the one place that Mr. Jim's been that I've been there too.
Oh, cool.
It was really cool, and I love the boat ride out there, but the boat ride back was pretty rough.
Yeah. So one of the a third grader last week said, "Why don't you use Street View?" Which you click that little thing. I forgot about that. She was so bright. And so let's look at dry tortugas from Street View. I'll just pull it right there, and you'll see the wall.
Oh, that's so cool.
Oh
Yeah. That's what it looks like.
And I've read that at times there was a saltwater crocodile that would stay in the lagoon. And there's the boat, the Yankee Freedom, that you go on. And I've camped there several times. I'll show you where the campground is.
It's a national park, isn't it? Dry Tortuga National
Yes,
Park? Or?
yes.
Yeah.
And the campground is right down here. And I really enjoy it. I snorkel on both sides, and when I snorkeled right here on the north around those pilings once, I was like right there. Let me show you what I saw. Some light blue parrotfish. And I've only seen them once. So let me scroll down until I find them. That was really special. Let's see where they were. Oh, here we go. Isn't that incredible? A whole school of light blue parrotfish, and they were all about this big each.
Oh.
So awesome. And the lighting was just perfect. So, do you guys want to hear a scary story?
Me!
Okay.
No, it's not about a Wendigo. Not the Wendigos.
No, yes.
What's a Wendigo?
Yes.
All right, let's listen to the story.
Okay. So, I brought my inflatable kayak, and I wanted to kayak over to Loggerhead Key, right there. And the reason I wanted to do that is on the other side, you can see all those coral reefs. That's called Little Africa. I wanted to snorkel there. So, it's actually pretty easy to kayak there because you're going with the current. Well, I don't want to do that. And so it only takes about 30 minutes, but on the way back, it's really hard because you're going against the current and you can't stop paddling. If you do, you lose your last several minutes of advance. And so it's one of the hardest things I've ever done. I'll never do it again. I think I did it 3 times, about over 10 years ago. So let me show you Loggerhead Key. First, let's look at the coral reef, Little Africa. There's the coral reef, so that's where I was. And now let's look at the lighthouse. No, I didn't go to the right spot. Let's go there. There it is. And I walked right down there with my kayak, and that's where I would land, and that's where I would go back to Garden Key. Let's see if we can spot Garden Key. No, it's too far away. Oh, there it is, right there. You can see it. So, here's my scary story, is that before I went kayaked over, I went to the ranger and I told them what I was going to do. They want to know, in case you don't come back, they need to search for you. So he said, before you go, let me tell you a story. And he said, a few years ago, which was 2010, 2 young people in their 20s kayaked over to Loggerhead Key like you're going to. And on the way back, going against the current, the sea was really rough and they got dumped out of their kayak. And the current pushed the kayak away, they couldn't get into it. So they're floating in the ocean and it got dark. Really, really terrifying. So their friends were camping at the campground and they went to the ranger and told them 2 people are missing. The ranger radioed the Coast Guard. The Coast Guard came in a helicopter with lights and were searching the ocean for the missing kayakers. And they found the man, they rescued them, they kept searching, and they found the woman. But the sad, really unfortunate thing is that sharks had found her first and she did not survive. So, and I verified that, I found news reports later. But, so he told me that story and then I said, you know what, I think I just changed my mind.
That's what I would say too.
I did go the next day, and I think I went several times, but like I said.
That's good. How far was it?
It's 3 miles.
It's 3 miles.
But coming back, one time when I came back, I was so exhausted, I could barely walk up to my tent, and I slept for 11 hours in my tent. And that night, it was April, a big storm came in, and there were about 34 boats near the fort to stay out of the rough water. And birds were migrating. And the birds landed on the island to get out of the storm. And the next morning, a lot of them were so exhausted, they just fell over and died. And the ranger was going around with a net picking them all up. But I slept right through it all. I didn't even wake up. So, anyway, so let me just finish this up real quick. I mentioned before that the other place I'm going in October is Indonesia again. This will be my 5th trip, and I'm going to Siau Island, S-I-A-U.
Have you ever been to New Zealand? That's over there in that area, isn't it?
Where?
New Zealand?
Ulu.
Have you been to
kind
New
of like
Zealand?
Ulu.
When I saw
Add
you,
an
I was
Wait,
at
add an
Niue
H to
Island.
that.
Oh, okay.
I flew to New Zealand first. and then-
I've just met a whole bunch of Kiwis, and they're awesome. They're really
Manhuni.
interesting people. So.
Yeah.
Add an
So
H
So
in.
nice.
No,
Yeah,
imagine
and
adding an
every-
H to
every-
Kiwis
Hulu
are
and
what
it's
people who live in New
In
Hulu.
fact,
Zealand call
I was
themselves.
the only
This looks-
United States person there. Everybody
This
else
looks
was from
kind of
Canada.
like, this looks kind of like
So-
our nation.
Back to it.
Anyway, this
No, it
island
doesn't.
that I'm going to in October, it has a volcano on the north side with it. Is one of the most active in Indonesia. It's erupted twice in the last 10 years. But not enough to drive the people away. There's 40,000 people on the island. They're either farmers or fishermen. Then the volcano is created for rich soil and they grow nutmeg. And so I'm staying in Ulu right there. And let me show you,
Oh, that's where you rented.
let's see what we can spot in Ulu.
Isn't that where they let you on the bike?
So
Oh.
being near the ocean, everything weathers quickly. And you can have a brand new building in 1 or 2 years, it'll look old. So I'm gonna rent a motorbike and go around the island And the other thing is that I'm going with the dive company for 7 days. Let's look at another picture. This is where my boat's gonna land, and when I stand in. So there's the volcano, and it usually has a glow from it, from little tiny eruptions. And if the islanders don't see the little eruptions, they get really worried because a dome might be developing and then it can blow up. So I'm staying actually it's only a few hundred feet from this dock here. And so here's a guy, there's actually cell phone coverage on the island. He's staring at his cell phone. And so very few people speak English, but I use my phone and I talk into Google Translate and it comes out in Indonesian with an accent. So it works great. I also know some Indonesian words, which I enjoy saying. Terima kasih, thank you. Sampai jumpa lagi, see you later. Anjing is dog, and I show pictures of my dog. So anyway, one thing the dive company and I are gonna do is they're gonna take me out snorkeling, and on one night we're gonna spend a night on one of these islands. So let's look at one of those islands, which is gonna be really amazing.
There's a human.
Oh look, he's got a fishing pole.
There's a bunch of humans.
And so, let me show you a photo of those islands from the air, where we're going to stay. Right there, that's what they look like.
Well, I think I've seen that before.
In fact, I zoomed in right between those two.
So these guys are we finish school on Friday, and so next year they'll be 4th graders. Do you have any life advice for them?
Oh,
Eat.
get outside and don't spend too much of your life looking at the screen.
That's a good one.
I'll try.
Our last project that we're doing is we've created this island nation, and we each have a part of it. It's on our back board. Someone turn on the light.
All right,
And we're like developing our biomes. We have a volcano on our island too. Ben, they're over there. And we're inventing our animals that are going to live on our island, and characters that are going to live on our island, and plants.
It's kind of like Indonesia.
It-
Islands
Yeah.
and a volcano.
So,
It is like Indonesia, and that is purposeful because Indonesia was created by volcanoes, right?
right,
And that makes islands.
17,000 islands.
Yeah, well, we only have 15.
So, it'd be great if you could talk to one of the 4th grade teachers and see if maybe I could tell stories.
Yeah, well, I would love you to come back to my class
Oh, sure.
and do my 3rd grade. But I will tell the 4th grade teachers,
Yeah.
yeah. But I was just gonna ask you, I hope you're not quitting.
No, I'm not.
You put good full thing on Remember the Island? Like the street view? Yeah.
I did. Do you want me to do it again?
Yeah.
Google Earth.
The big
Yeah, that's one of those islands. Let's find another spot. Anything blue you can Google Earth on. You can Street View on.
I have
I don't see any more blue. Oh, there's one. Let's try that one.
Oh, so cool.
Somebody.
Yeah, see, everything gets weathered. In fact, they bought me a brand new bicycle, and when I left, the lady said, "Next time you come, it'll be old because of the salt air. It weathers things."
Everything rusts really well in salt.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I mean, that's just what happens.
Jack.
Can you go into Street View for the national park and like inside it? That is just.
I think
You can't do Street View for everything. It has to be something that Google can drive down.
let's see what's
Right?
up.
Yeah, because Google Earth.
Let's see if we can.
They can
All
all
Google Earth is free. It's on your computer right now.
I have it. I already seen it. And Google does better. What?
Google Maps. And there's a really cool game you can play. It's like
Google Panda Tracker?
my phone is talking to me.
Yep. That's what I don't
stop
know.
Siri.
Hey
One
Siri,
thing I'm
stop.
going to go to is down south. This beach is supposed to be amazing. You have to hike there. So, but anyway, did you want to say something?
Do you have any pictures of ships, sunken ones?
Sunken
Yeah,
ship.
I think there's a picture of a ship in this
I
one.
like sunken ships. Shipwrecks. I like sunken ships. Wait.
Sunken.
I think
Shipwrecks.
there's one picture of a ship
I know how much you love
that I got down in the Florida Keys.
I don't know.
There it is.
I mean, I like Minecraft. Don't
probably
love
know
it.
the structure of a shipwreck.
That's not
Yeah.
sunk. That's we don't want them to be sunk.
Yes, we do.
Oh, no, I've never snorkeled around a sunken ship.
Pirates!
They're pirates.
I know where there is some. There's some in New Orleans.
Pretty sure there's some in Panama too.
I'm so glad to hear that you will be back next year to be
Yeah.
a storyteller for us. Does anyone want to share how much they've enjoyed having Mr. Jim as a storyteller for us this year? What would you like to say, Lee?
I really like the stories he did.
Yeah, Ada, what do you want to say?
The stories are so detailed, even when they're retold in a shorter amount of time than it would take to read the book.
Yeah. Emily?
I've had storytellers almost every year of school, and I think he's my favorite.
Well, all right. High praise.
Thank you. Yeah, this is
What
my
do you-
favorite thing to do along with dancing.
Yeah.
Okay, thank you guys.
All right, guys, let's go ahead and start inventing our animals.
Let's do this.
I already drafted mine.
Yeah, me too. This is all I have for this. This is all I have for the body. I'm going. Okay.
Plant and an animal.
I know, I'm doing my
Micah and Emily,
All right.
why don't you walk Mr. Jim out and show him the biomes and research papers we made on the way out?
All right. So
Sorry.
mine is an axolotl.